Hello everyone, this is CJNovo982 and today we are back for another brand new video. Today's video we finally have some football to talk about once again. That's right, the football is back and so is the Rangers. But before we actually go any further in today's video, just a friendly reminder in case you are new around here, make sure you be hitting that subscribe button. It's down there for a reason. Hit it and help the nation on our way towards 55k. But without any further ado, let's just dive into it then, shall we? 3, 2, 1. Hearts versus Rangers, 12 PM kickoff. Now this one's obviously going to be at Tynecastle. We are playing Hearts once again. Thanks to Scottish football and their split, we're back at it. Now, the last time we actually played Hearts, it was quite interesting going into the game because we just lost that painful Old Firm 2-1 at Parkhead where we made a silly mistake and shot ourselves on the foot. So we were kind of all down and we were waiting to see what kind of reaction we'd see against Hearts. And if I'm honest with you, the Hearts performance and obviously the Motherwell performance was absolutely brilliant. Without the Alfredo Morelos, we were strolling it. We were kicking the ball back and forth, left and right. We couldn't wait for the next game. Unfortunately, we've had to wait because we never made a semi-final. Let's not do that again, Stevie. It's no fun. But speaking of the break in between the games, are we still going to have that intensity to kill the game off within the first 15-20 minutes like we have done since that game at Parkhead? Is that itch still going to be there? Is the players still going to be as fired up because of that Old Firm loss? We're going to be finding out within the first kick of the whistle. You know what's interesting about that one? I could have went two ways. I could have went kick of the ball or blow the whistle. Somehow, I've combined them. Now, a lot of credit's got to be given because finally, what with 33 games in, the press actually asked a decent little question to Steven Gerrard, asking where the players' mentality is coming at this point of the season since the split is in. I'm taking the foot off the gas. How are they actually feeling? Sort of addressing some of my own concerns that I just mentioned just a minute ago. And Gerrard kind of eased a lot of that. He basically said none of the players that he saw in training taking their foot off the gas. Everyone's level still at 100. Everyone is still getting stuck in and ready to go. There's been no whispers, there's no talks, there's no group meetings saying that the season's over now, there's no pressure. There's been none of that, and every single one of these Rangers players individually have been spoken to and been told that they are playing for their Rangers futures throughout the next couple of games. So there's no easy games for the Glasgow Rangers. No, oh, we can't win the league now, let's down tools and let's give up like you've seen in the past couple of seasons. Even some of our fans are kind of saying, oh, it's easy to beat Hearts 3-0 and Motherwell 3-0 when there's no pressure, the season's over. The season isn't over until it's actually over. These players still need to deal with the pressure of winning week in and week out. You didn't get weeks off when you play for Glasgow Rangers. You've got the weight of that jersey. You need to perform each and every single week. So I'm not really on the camp that says, oh, the season's over, I'm not impressed if they beat this and that. No, I don't agree with that. I want to see these Rangers boys win every single game to the end of the season and take that into next year knowing they can do it. And carry on with the playing for the future style thing that Gerrard was actually speaking about. He says he's had a discussion with the board and obviously the chairman himself about the players or maybe the areas that's performed well this season that they've improved, but other areas that they're lacking, kind of on the creative side, getting inside the box and shooting from range. I think is one of the things we've really lacked this season. But he knows where some players are, where some players aren't. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the summer. But let's rein it back in and focus on Rangers versus Hearts. And let's look at some stats then, shall we? An interesting one, or one of the most interesting ones that I found and I want to talk about in today's video. Rangers have beaten Hearts their last 6 games that they've played them. That is the longest stretch since 2003. But back to the actual press conference, you had Stephen Davis saying he wasn't just there to say yes or no answers. No. There was actually an interesting one because there was a fun one we'll speak about in just a minute, but an actual discussion about Stephen Davis that Gerrard kind of spoke about his form, and when he came in everyone was expecting him to be the Stephen Davis of old and just take like back to Rangers his starting spot and just flow like he did when he was here previously. But that's never quite happened. A lot of people wrote him off, but in the last 2 games he's been absolutely brilliant. And one of the ways I think not only Davis has been brilliant but the team has been brilliant since we lost against Celtic, since Morelos got suspended, is this new formation. That extra man in midfield, the kind of tweaking the formation, allowing Arfield more responsibility going forward and less defensively, gets not only Arfield and Jermaine Defoe playing well, which are getting a lot of headlines right now, and rightly so, but Davis is a vital part in this machine now, a vital cog in this midfield machine, because he's pulling the strings. He's absolutely strolled it the last 2 games, and it was good to see Davis getting some actual respect from that, because a lot of people wrote him off since that. I mean, myself personally, I didn't put him very highly on where he's performed in the season list because he's not playing enough, but if he continues this form right now to the end of the season, he's got to be there, and he's going to deserve to actually stay here. Now that's going to be the next part we're going to speak about, because I just asked him directly. I kind of like the way the media was just blunt with this one. They're just like, you know what, it's a split, can't he be asking about Alfredo Morelos, let's just talk about something else. which I like. Now, the media basically just asked Stephen Davis if he was going to be here next year, talking about the fact that his loan deal is running out at Rangers. He's not got a club to go back to because his contract's out in the summer. Where's his head at? Does he see himself coming back to the Glasgow Rangers? And Stephen Davis was actually just honest and said, we've had a conversation and it's something we'll look to do. That's very unusual, we never hear that. Basically, he's ruined my clickbait. Stephen Davis to Glasgow Rangers confirmed. But to be fair to Stephen Davis, he did kind of recover himself very, very quickly and says, but that's then, we'll talk about that nearer to the time. We're just going to focus on Hearts. He done the very Captain Material-esque there, but Stephen Davis has basically confirmed that there's been a conversation between him and Rangers, and it looks like it's going to be happening next year. Are you happy with that? Do you agree with it? Are you sold on Stephen Davis? Do you still think he's got it based on the last 2 games, or does he need to prove it again to the end of the season before you make your decision on? For me personally, it's going to be based on what happens when Alfredo Morelos comes back in the first team. Are we just going to abandon this formation that we have now, that we've built for Jermaine Defoe and Scott Arfield, the fact that they can get forward and work so well with each other? Are we just going to go back to the sort of 4-3-3 style and just kind of force feed Morelos and force feed Ryan Kent? If so, I think Davis will be lost in that midfield, because I just don't think he's the box player that he used to be and was able to do, run all day. I don't think that's in his locker now, but that extra man in midfield and he can just get the ball and just pull the strings, like I said, that's more of his game style. So interesting to see what happens with Stephen Davis, especially when Morelos comes back. Which leads me perfectly over to the suspension and injury list. Now, Alfredo Morelos is obviously still suspended for the game, so there'll be no Morelos versus Hearts. Berra and co will be delighted with that. But there is another name on the list, unfortunately for us, but he is serving the last game of his suspension, which is, I guess, is a positive. It's kind of a good news, bad news situation. Ryan Kent's obviously going to be missing the game of football, but he will be back next week. Moving over to the injury side of things. Now, Gerrard said there was no fresh injuries, so no one's picked up knocks over the last 2 weeks. Everyone is 100% and raring to go, so I'm sure Scott Arfield and Ryan Jack, who's been playing through niggles for the last couple of months, will be delighted. And I mean, I'm delighted to hear that, if I'm honest with you, to get them back to being 100%. But it did sort of confuse me on the BB situation, because I assumed he would be out for a lot longer than he has been, but Gerrard said there's no other injuries apart from the 2 that everyone already knows, which is Jamie Murphy and Graham Dorran. So is BB back already? That's a bit of a surprise and a boost. Which actually leads me perfectly to my second question of today's episode. Who do you play at left back? If BB is fit and ready to go, which I'll be very, very surprised at, especially with the way the injury was reported in Croatia. If he's ready to go, does he come back to number 1? Halliday, fresh off the suspension, does he go back? Or does John Flanagan, who has just shut down everyone he's been up against in the last 2 games, just get to continue that form to prove that he belongs here next year? It's going to be an interesting one. Me personally, this is probably going to surprise everyone. I'd keep John Flanagan in there, give him another chance to absolutely scare them to death, because he's one of these boys that's not performed all season long. If Gerrard is really giving everyone a chance to play for their badges, I'm pretty sure Andy Halliday has done that. I'm pretty sure BB, because the money we spent on him and the clear talent they has got. But John Flanagan is one of these ones that's kind of 50-50, and it's not the fact that we're just throwing him in cold. He's playing well, and I don't think he deserves to be dropped. But with all that being said, that is the recap of the press conference. That is the sort of stat, or one single stat, that I actually broke down in today's video, and also a wee discussion point about Stephen Davis and BB. All that's left now is for me and thee to get your predictions about the game tomorrow out there. Hearts are a very physical, good side, you know what I mean, especially at home. They will pack that box. They would have learned from their mistakes last time, giving Jermaine Defoe too much space, being surprised at how forward Arfield actually was. So I think it's going to be a wee bit tighter, but still going to be a dominant performance from the Glasgow Rangers. I just believe in these boys, and I am going to go with Rangers 3, Hearts 1. My goal scorers, it's going to be no surprise if you follow this channel. I think if you start Jermaine Defoe, he will score. Now, he didn't score against Motherwell, but he did have a couple of assists, so he's back at it with another double. A dirty double from Jermaine Defoe, and the third and final goal will come from Captain Tavernier himself. And now that I've had my say and you have, down in the comment section, it's time for a little refreshments, everyone. I've got some kind of lemonade. That's right, branching out. 3, 2, 1, sponsor break. Now it's time to jump over to Twitter and hear from the people. There's been 1,007 votes. Thank you so much for getting involved. 4% vote for the draw, 6% votes for Hearts win, but 90% of the people votes for a Glasgow Rangers win. So let's see what I've actually had to say. Mohammed writes in, Wallace hat-trick. Starting off strong. Starting off strong. True Blue 72 says, pressure's off now and we have nothing to go for, and I can see the team sailing the last 5 games or whatever's left. I'll say 3-0 on the day. Daniel Woodward writes in Rangers 2-0, Defoe and Scotty Arfield with the goals. Bazbowski, oh no, writes in already beat them 3 times this season, I believe, scoring 8 goals in total so far, conceding only 1. Reckon it's a win for the Glasgow Rangers, or what he writes, the famous. Soccer Johnny writes in 2-1 Rangers, Tavernier and Arfield to score. Andy Amato writes in 2-1 to Rangers. We've had it easy every time against Hearts recently. Steve O'Neill, I think that's Stephen Neville. Stephen, what have you done, Stephen, eh? Can you not just write Stephen? Come on, help me out. Anyway, the lad writes in 4-0 to the famous Defoe hat-trick and Tavernier from the spot. Yeah, we are due a penalty. It's not happened in a little while. And the last one we'll actually read out, just to make it fair. We'll scroll up there, scroll down there, and we'll stop it right there. It comes from William, good name. Writes in 4-0 to Rangers, Souterall goal, Arfield 1, and Defoe to score 2. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You've heard from the people, you've heard from myself. If you haven't done so already, you know what to do by now. Before we finish up though, just a friendly reminder, June the 8th, charity football match against Falkirk Foundation coaches. The links will be down in the description. Every single penny will be going to the 2 charities. So if you're free, want to come and watch a wee bit of football, maybe see if I can back some of it up. I can't. Expectations, go ahead and lower them. You can find that down in the description below. It's going to be a great day out, and as always the link for the Patreon account will be there as well. Shout out to you absolute legends for the continued support on the channel. I've been CJNova92. Thanks so much for watching, and bye bye.